Hello, welcome to our Dream to Rise, to our new episode of our this podcast. And I am really fortunate to have someone with me, a special guest. I consider him a special guest, a well-known podcaster, and he is originally from Belleville, New Jersey, and proudly served the U.S. Army from 1986 to 1988. He had a temporary break in service, and he continued to serve in the Army National Guard from 1991 to 2012 in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and South Carolina. He was medically retired after 23 years of service. Like many other veterans, he has no stranger to some of the struggles that is experienced by veterans that have served. And again, thank you so much for your service. And he had his struggles with substance abuse addiction, traumatic brain injury, and post-traumatic disorder. He celebrated 32 years of sobriety. Now, he is a two-time top-selling author, top 0.5% global ranked podcast host, and an in-demand resilience speaker. His quote is, "From dope dealer to hope dealer." I love that. So let us all welcome Mr. Richard Kaufman. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. And first of all, I want to thank Ira Marks Smith for introducing us. And I just want to say, Mark, thank you so much. And I love you, brother. So I just want to say thank you for having me on this amazing show.
Yes, thank you so much for accepting it. And again, also, I would like to thank Mark for connecting you to me. And I'm glad that you accepted the invitation. Thank you so much, Richard. And I'm sure
it's my honor. It's truly my honor.
Oh, same here. It's my honor as well, because we are having such a guest, a well-known guest, and who served the country for how many years, but then had to suffer because of a lot of things that had happened in his life, in your life. This is admirable, and now you were able to rise up, evolve, and now progressing and doing what you love to do and living your purpose.
Yep, and you got to have that dream to rise. You got to have the dream. Even MLK said that you got to have a dream.
Exactly, and that's the reason why I wrote my second anthology. My first one is My Journey into Becoming, and then my second is the anthology book Dream to Rise, to be released also December 5, because this is a collection of 20 authors who have shared their stories. If I have only known you before, you could have been included in this anthology book.
Well, good, because you could send me the book, and then you're going to be a guest on my show.
Oh, really? Oh, thank you so much. Yes, that will be released end of this year, December 5. I'm glad. I will give you for sure with my dedication. Okay, let us start, Richard. The major purpose of this podcast is to really share our stories to our friends out there, and really touch the lives of those who are still stuck in their dark bubble, still struggling, and haven't found the light yet. So I would appreciate I would like to ask if it's okay if you could share your story, and then share how you were able to overcome those obstacles and brought you to where you are right now.
All right. So like I do on every podcast that I go on, I'll give you a quick down and dirty about my life, and then you can go wherever you want to go with it.
Sure.
As we talked earlier before I got on, my mother was a nurse, but she was also an active addict. So I was pretty much on my own for my whole beginning of my life. My dad left when I was 3 months old. So I was left alone a lot. And for me, my solace was reading. I love to read. I'm a ninth grade dropout, but I've read over 6,000 books. And I have 18 books going now as we speak.
Oh,
And I dropped out. I had my first drink at the age of 11, full-blown alcoholic by the age of 13. Got thrown out of school for hitting a teacher. Decided to join the military so I wouldn't go to jail. I ended up joining the military and going to jail at the same time, and we could talk about that later. I got thrown out of the military for being a drug addict. Almost went to jail for 5 years for robbing a police officer, and I'm sure we'll talk about that. But then I got back in the military for a second time, and was due to be thrown out for a second time at the end of September of 2001. But because of what happened at 8:48 on that Tuesday morning of September 11th, my whole life changed and my whole thought process changed. So the military kept me instead of throwing me out. I did a total of 23 years until I got hurt on duty, and I lost 80% of my vision.
oh my.
So that's why I wear these stupid glasses so I can read. I'm down 60%. I only have 40% vision right now. And when the military discharged me on Labor Day 2012, that was the day that I attempted suicide.
Oh.
And my 6-month-old daughter actually saved my life that day. But
Oh, your daughter? You have a daughter?
I got a 20-year-old, 21-year-old boy, 19-year-old boy, and 11-year-old daughter.
Oh, and that
So
was the time you were thinking about committing suicide.
Yeah, I was actually on my way to commit suicide, but she saved me. But then I didn't go through with it. Thank God. He had another plan. And then I had a chance meeting with a guy named Mr. Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V. And we decided to write a book. We decided to start a podcast to help other people struggling like I was. And here we are today. Now I'm a father of 3, married to my bride. She's my everything. Top selling book, hit #1 twice. Podcast is on by January 1st or by December 1st. It should have 1 million downloads. We have over 1,100 episodes. So for right now, I'm just trying to pay it forward. I'm trying to let people know that no matter what you've been through, it's not like my mentor, Mr. Ed Milet, told me. He said it's not nothing ever happens to us. Everything happens for us. So everything that's ever happened to us is for a greater purpose. So anything that's ever happened to me, and I cause a lot of my own problems, and I'll tell everybody, I'm 100% at fault for everything I've ever done. It's all my fault. I get it. But I also realize that if I succeed, it's his fault. If I succeed, it's God's fault. It's God is actually letting me do what I'm doing. So without him, I wouldn't be able to do anything that I do. I wouldn't have a breath in my body if it wasn't for him. So I give him all the glory and all the honor. And like I wrote a post today because I knew I was coming on today. And for some reason, I got very nervous to come on this podcast.
Why?
I've been on hundreds already.
Why?
But for some reason, I don't know. But I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm walking around the house. I'm like, Lord, I don't know why I'm nervous. But it was at that moment when I realized there is a God. I'm not him. I'm in charge of the work. He's in charge of the results. And that's when that scripture came to me that said, whatever situation you are, be grateful.
Exactly.
So, and then, so that's what I do. That's all I do 5-6 days a week. That's all I do is help other people and try to change the lives as many people as I can, because we all know We're only here for a little bit of time.
Mhm.
And as long as you're helping change the world and leave a legacy behind, then that's what it's all about. It's not about the money. It's not about the finances. It's not about the titles. Because the best titles I've ever had has been daddy and husband. Those are the best titles I've ever had. So for me, it's all about, legacy. Because Gary told me when we talked, he said, your legacy will always be more valuable than your currency.
Very good.
So
Well,
everything I do now is for legacy and for helping others. So that's my story. I don't think it's that great, but
oh, it's
what
great.
you-
Excuse me, Richard. You've already touched me. And I agree with you that legacy, we are our own leaders. We are leaders. We have these leadership qualities within us. And what you're doing is actually you have that great leadership quality that that let you stand out. It, as what you've mentioned, it's not the status, it's not the position, it's not the salary. It is how are you making others feel? I mean, with us sharing this, helping other, with to move further or to move or to the next level, because life is great. That's something that you should be proud of. Imagine, that's the legacy. And what we need more people who is doing all these things for other people. With we're living in a very chaotic world, and what we want for our children and grandchildren is to live a peaceful, uh, sharing so much compassion and love. And we cannot get this from other people not until we give love. And that's what I believe. I believe that we have to take care of ourselves before we are able to help others. And I'm sure you took that uncomfortable action as well. But when was that time?
I just want to say something.
Uh-huh.
I have this cup here that I leave. It's my own brand, but it's not about the brand. But I keep an empty cup here on my table because I know that I can't pour if my cup is empty.
Exactly.
So I got to make sure that my cup is full in order for me to be able to give to you. So I got to make sure that I'm mentally there. Just like when you're on an airplane, they always tell you, make sure your oxygen mask is on first
Yes.
before you can help somebody else. So that's why I keep this cup here to remind me that whatever I do, I got to make sure that I'm full so I can pour into you. You know what I mean? And a lot of people think it's the opposite, where all they do is pour out for others, but they're empty.
Yes.
You know?
Actually, I was raised, I don't know if you have experienced the same thing. I was raised by my parents to serve others first, and you're the last to be served. But I think now it's the other way around. You need to serve yourself first before you'll be able to serve others. Because we also need to be a gracious receiver. That's the law of your circulation. Because if we give and you don't know how to receive, then there will be no life. That's what I've learned. That's the circulation of life. Just like what's this I've learned? When you inhale and you continue to hold on to that air, no? After so many minutes, you won't be able to last. You'll run out of breath. So exhale, give that air so that you'll be able to inhale again. That's
I've been in recovery now. It'll be 35 years coming up January 1st. And I was taught that I can't give away. I mean, I can't keep what I can't give away freely. And I believe that I can't accept a gift with a closed fist.
Yes.
So my hands always have to be open to help somebody else out. And I believe, because even, Zig Ziglar once wrote, you can have anything you want in this world if you help enough people get what they want. So
Yes.
that's what I try to do. I try to just be that guy that's going to help you get whatever you need, however I can help you, because I'm going to be blessed either way.
Yes, multiple times, multiple times. It's not monetary, it's not the money, but it's more about sharing their love for you. And I think that's more than enough. For me, sharing, being kind, being compassionate, even a smile, a sincere and genuine smile would help other people, because you don't know what the other person is going through, but a smile would make an impact.
But I think where entrepreneurs fall short is, you can always make money, you can always buy houses, you can always buy cars. You can't buy time.
Exactly.
Time is infinite.
Yes.
So make sure that if you're an entrepreneur, you charge for your time, because you're actually, that's what your time is. How much, whatever a minute is worth of your life, that's what you're charging. So make sure, if you're an entrepreneur, make sure that to have your cup filled, you're going to have to charge some people, because you only got 24 hours.
Exactly.
So I
Make
just want
use
to put
of
that
that.
out there, because a lot of entrepreneurs fail. I know I did the first couple of years, asking for, if you're going to ask for a couple hours of my time, besides family and business, you're going to have to pay. Especially with a podcaster. I mean, people don't realize it takes work to be a podcaster.
Yes.
It takes hours. It takes hours to do graphics, we were talking about that before I got on, to do descriptions, to invite people, to do all. It takes time.
Exactly.
And if you're going to use your time, then you should say, listen, you got to kick in a little bit, help out a little bit to keep us on the air. And I think if we could just get that thought wave as an entrepreneur, then
Yes.
I think that we might help a little bit.
Yes, because that's why they were saying money is a root of evil, but I don't think so. No, I don't believe now in that saying. Money is just an energy. When you are blessed with money and you're able to share it with others, then you're doing something great for other people. God blesses us with so much and use these gifts so others may move up, may rise, may shine. And that's what I'm thinking about.
Well, but for me, I guess I look at it the same way, but also a different way. If my father owns it all and I'm the son of God, I should not be broke. I should not have to worry about food.
Yes.
If he's my father, he owns it all. I should be able to, like, I have a beautiful house here. If he lets me, because I know in my life, I don't own anything. He owns it all.
Yes.
I'm just renting it. I'm just using it. So if he can let me rent this house, he can let me rent a beach house. If he can let me drive my car, he can let me drive a brand new car. As long as I know that he's getting all the glory and all the credit, then I don't have to worry about it. So I think this whole being, well, I have to be poor because I'm a Christian. No, it should be opposite.
Exactly.
He owns everything. So if we're his children, like my daughter and my kids, if I have something, they got something. And I think with him, as long as we're showing him, they appreciate it. They appreciate what I'm giving them. Why wouldn't I if my son came to me and said, Dad, can I have the keys to the car for the night? And if he's doing the right thing and he's obeying and being good, you can have the keys, you can have my wallet, you can have cash, as long as I know you're doing the right thing. So why, as Christians, don't we think, well, God owns it all? Why don't we own it all if we're the bloodline?
And that's the reason I don't know what's happening. And most of the people that I see on TV and so on, they're always chasing power, money, and so on. And I could see greediness. That's the reason why we have this so much chaos here on earth. So there's war, there's division, there's hate. It is because of ourselves, ego. It's us, instead of we as a community, we as a children of God. And I agree with you that it all came from God. Everything we have here, we are just borrowing it, Him sharing it with us so that we can make use of these resources to benefit others. That's it.
Yeah.
To help them live the life they love as well. And that's you know what, when I retired from the bank, I had no clear vision of my purpose. The reason why I retired early at the age of 58 was to help take care of my mom. But because of COVID, it changed everything. God's plan for me was not only to take care of my mom, but also to take care of other people globally. And it has more responsibility, but then I feel so much joy and so much fulfilled. There's so much fulfillment within me when I see other people happy, coming from their trauma, coming from their problems and struggles, and they were able to overcome it because of your light. And what I always tell other people, yes, we have a 10-watt bulb, but they say it's only a 10-watt bulb. But excuse me, that 10-watt bulb still has a spark of light, which can be shared for other people. It's just a matter of us cleaning our window pane, removing all those cobwebs and dust so that we may have a clearer vision of our purpose.
But sometimes, I see in a lot of businesses, everybody wants to be the CEO of their own life. Instead of saying, all right, God, you're the CEO of the company. I work for you. I'm going to put in all the work and you're in charge of the results.
Exactly.
When you put him in charge, everything works out because he's got the plan.
Yes.
He knew you before you were even born. He knows you when you're the day you're going to die.
Yeah.
So why not make him the CEO of your business and your life and watch your business explode?
Exactly. And this is what I was telling. I didn't imagine myself writing a book, being a published author. I didn't see myself being a podcaster. I was just a program assistant at the World Bank. I didn't see myself having a mastermind group and seeing my members rise up, move to the next level, and now living a happy life. I didn't see myself being invited as an international speaker. And I was even scared of actually speaking in front of the public. Writing, it's not my skill. It's not my cup of tea. But then God really made a way. He paved the way to make these things happen. And being a program assistant, I was not skilled I'm not a communications officer or whatever, but I was just a program assistant. But I told myself, don't put yourself down because God gave you this gift, which I was not aware of. That's why I had to overcome all those fears, all those limiting beliefs, all those doubts, all those me sabotaging myself, the paradigms and everything. That's what I did because he showed me that, hey, there's a better, a great light ahead of you, opportunities ahead of you. I always remind other people the opportunities are actually at the borderline of your comfort zone. I just did what I need to do, asking God's guidance. I always pray to God, God, what is your plan for me? Asking for his light, telling me, oh, this is my plan for you, but you have to be open. That's what I did. Open your mind, open your heart, and just accept. And that's what I did. Now I'm still blown away by the fact of what's happening. I never imagined myself interviewing you, interviewing Mark Smith, who are uh, well known. Never did I imagine myself.
Well, one thing that came to my mind as we're talking, because I had the same conversation with my wife the other day. When God calls you, it doesn't matter if you have a piece of paper behind your name, if you have 3 letters behind your name, he qualifies you. It doesn't matter what the world does. He qualifies you. He qualifies the called. He doesn't call the qualified. And I just, even if you go back to the Old Testament, Moses' brother was the great speaker. Moses actually had a stuttering problem. He wasn't a great speaker, but God said, I'm calling you, Moses. I'm qualifying you. I don't care about your qualifications. I'm qualifying you. So I think no matter where we're at, I never thought I'd be sitting here talking to you or Mark, or be able to talk to, authors, millionaires, billionaires. But because I struggled with imposter syndrome a lot when I first started, because I'm thinking, and I'm hearing people saying, well, who are you to be interviewing the authors of Rich Dad Poor Dad? You're not even a high school graduate. Who gives you that right? But then God said, I'm calling you. I'm qualifying you. I don't care what they say. So guys, if you're out there listening, just remember, God is qualifying you. Don't worry about what man says.
I agree, 100%. Now, I used to, just like what you've mentioned, the imposter syndrome, I was also telling myself, oh, what would be the reaction? What would they think and say about me? And I have a basher as well, because when I wrote my book, my first book, My Journey into Becoming, telling me, why do I have to share my story, my problem to the world? But I told her, you know what? My intention is to save other people, to help others who are still struggling. And then she even asked me, what would your husband, your late husband, tell you or feel that you're sharing all those stories if he was alive? And I told her, I think he'll be happy, because I know he's a good man. He's a very helpful person. That's why he had a lot of friends. And what I'm doing, if it's going to serve others, why not? Because he is into service as well.
But something that you just said, and it makes a lot of difference. A lot of people, everything you want is on the other side of fear.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest fears is, well, what are people going to say about me? What are people going to say that I wrote a book? What are people say that I started a podcast? But in the end, it doesn't matter. In the end, it's going to be me looking up at Jesus. That's it. There's nobody to the right, nobody to the left. It's just me and him. So it really doesn't matter what people say when we're here, as long as we know that we're doing the right thing. And unfortunately, the people that are closest to you are not going to support you.
That's what I've observed.
But that's why I know that there's people that are close to me, never bought my books, never bought my t-shirts or my coffee, listen to my podcasts, but I have strangers from around the world that buy my coffee, my t-shirts, listen to my podcast, and buy my books. So if you guys are out there and you say, well, my cousin might not approve, it doesn't matter if your cousin approves. Do it. Just do it. Because in the end, it's just you and God. And we all have a shelf life. I know the average male lives to 78 years old. I'm 54. So I got 24 years to go, and I want to make it the best time of my life. So I can't be worried about what everybody else is saying, as long as I'm doing the right thing. If I'm doing the wrong thing, that's one thing. But if I'm honoring God, I'm honoring my wife, I'm honoring my family, my kids, and doing the right things. It really doesn't matter what, the general population thinks.
Yes, I agree with you. And it's us really leaving our footprints, and that is God's plan for us. Leave our footprints, because it's really the younger generation who would benefit. It's hard to as what my son was telling me when he was educating children in the farm, no? Why won't you teach older people? Mom, the old people, they are very stubborn. They have a fixed mindset. But I want to focus on the children because they are our future leaders. I just kept quiet, and I was shocked by his response, because it's true. We all are. I must admit, I'm stubborn. He was always telling me, why do you have to go to stores that won't promote local producers, local farmers? Local farmers are here to help us. Let us support them as well. That's what. But you always complain, oh, their goods are more expensive and so on. So who are you supporting? That's what he was telling me.
Well, like when you start hitting your 50s and your 60s, you don't want to do whatever the kids are doing. You don't want to learn, but unfortunately, I mean, who would ever thought 5 years ago that we would be sitting here on Zoom talking to each other from across the nation?
Yes.
But there's certain people that I know that are my age and a little bit older, they can't even operate a phone. And unfortunately, they're being shut off from the rest of the world, because it's hard to find a bank that you could just go to and make a deposit and go talk to somebody. Everything is being done online.
Online, yes.
And if you're that hard-headed, where you're like, yeah, I'm good for now, eventually everything's going that way. So you have to adapt, or you're going to get run over.
Exactly.
But a lot of people don't want to do it because it takes work. It takes work to learn, well, what is a Facebook? What is a Twitter? What is an Instagram? Some people don't even know what a podcast is. So, so I think that's where we're at. When you get older, you have to start thinking, am I going to adapt, or am I just going to sit on my couch and watch TV?
Exactly. And in our organization at the World Bank, we keep on changing. The CEOs, the president would always change. And I think change is the only constant here on earth. And what we need to, as what you've mentioned, learn to adapt, because that's how you learn. Go out of your comfort zone. A lot of people, when my director would always ask us whenever there's a reorganization, how do you feel? The others are afraid, because they don't know if they'll lose their job. They don't know if they will just be moved or transferred to another department, and they don't know the people there. They got used to working with the same people. But when he asked me, Cynthia, how do you feel? I feel excited. I feel excited because I know I'm going to learn something new. I know that I'll be meeting new people, and I value human connection.
But I think like you're saying, you have to step out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
Like I was watching, like right before we even as we were getting on, I'm on my phone and I'm learning how to play with Chat GPT and artificial intelligence. And I reached out to my friend Tony Watley, who's got an amazing podcast called the 365-Driven Podcast. I said, bro, I'm like, your graphics are crazy. They're insane. How are you doing it? And he shared with me how he's doing it. But if I didn't ask him how he's doing it, he wouldn't show me. And I know that if I want my show to start getting 2-3 million downloads, I have to up my game.
Exactly.
So a lot of us, we see a little bit of success, and then we start getting comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of looking at, okay, well, I got 1 million downloads. Joey only has 1,000 downloads. I'm looking at the guys that got 10 million downloads, and I'm going, what are they doing different that I'm not doing? How do I up my game? But I wouldn't be able to up my game if I didn't say, Tony, how are you doing it? I need your help. And the only reason why he said he'll help me is because I've built that relationship for the last 6 years.
See,
you know, I had him on my show twice, and I've been on his show, but I built that relationship. But if I didn't have the guts to say, I need help, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a low-tech redneck, and I tell everybody I have no clue. I don't know what a computer is. I'm lucky I get this thing to work. But if I don't learn to, you know, up my graphics, up my descriptions, and start using AI, I'm going to get left behind.
Exactly.
So, and you're doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing with your show. I've been watching every episode you put out, and every episode's getting better.
Thank
because
you.
you're putting in the work and you're putting in the time.
Thank you. I'm still learning.
Well, I got 1,100 episodes, and I feel like I'm just starting.
Uh-huh. Oh my. And we keep on learning, and that's part of growing. And as what you've mentioned, ask for help. And it's not a weakness to ask for help. And especially to those who have been there. And the only thing that we should be willing to do is willing to be there for others to be helped, to help others. That's what we need to do.
Well,
And
for me, what I try to do is I tried to provide 10 times more value before I ever ask for anything.
oh yes,
I'd rather, you know, give. Like Gary wrote his book, you know, jab, 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 right hook. You know, make sure you're give, and then once in a while ask, because people don't mind helping as long as you've provided value for them. But I see so many people, especially on LinkedIn, you know, you accept their request, and then the first thing you get is a 10-minute message about the things they're going to do for your business, and they haven't even asked me, well, how's your wife? How's your kids? How's the podcast doing?
Yeah.
So if you don't provide me value, why would I do anything in return?
Uh-huh.
You know?
And that's the importance of engagement first. Try to engage and be genuine with that engagement, with that connection. As what you've mentioned, ask about that person. How is he doing? How is his family? And see how you could be of help if he needs, he's experiencing some challenges. You know what? There was one time when I engaged with someone, I was trying to provide insights because I know she was experiencing some challenges in terms of fear. So I asked him, would you like to, let's have a Zoom, because I might be able to share some insights based from what I have experienced. Oh, are you selling something? Oh my, never did I even mention about money in the conversation. I was just telling if you'd be willing, if I could provide some insights, because those are lessons learned, which I have gone through, and probably it's not a fixed medicine for you, but then I'm sure the insights might add value to what you're going through. So later on, she was very apologetic. And then I told her, no problem. If you need help, connect with me. And that was probably she felt that I'm really sincere and genuine in terms of me helping her out. And it's just that probably there are a lot of people when they connect, there's already something that there's an agenda already, but it's not because of them giving something. So by the we've gone through so much, a lot of, but I like it. I'm enjoying it. So, so do you, based from what you have experienced, do you believe in manifestations?
Oh, definitely. And I want to tell a story because I think this is the perfect manifestation story. And it's all true, by the way.
Ah.
10 years ago, my cousin went to Atlantis, which is in the Bahamas, for their family for a week. And I was like, 10 years ago, I'm like, man, I moved to here to New Jersey with $50 in my pocket, with clothes on my back. I was in my car at the time. I had no friends, no family, just my soon-to-be wife. And I was like, you know what? I want to take my family to Atlantis. Because my cousin was there. She said it was beautiful. They had the greatest time. So I took a picture of Atlantis and I've kept it in my phone, all the phones I've had, for the last 10 years. So my wife tells me, honey, because she's deathly afraid of water. She's afraid of water. She says, I booked a cruise. And I'm like, really? I was shocked at that. Because she goes, I know that's on your bucket list. And I was like, yeah, that is. And I'm like, where are we going? She says, well, we're going to go to Florida and then we're going to go to the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, we're going where? She goes, we're going to go to the Bahamas. So I told her, I said, listen, because you can go out excursions for the day. I said, we're going to book Atlantis for the day. I'm taking the family to Atlantis for the day. So that's been on my dream board.
Atlantis is in Bahamas, right?
Yeah, it's in the Bahamas.
Yes. Yeah.
So for 10 years, it's been on my dream board, and it's been, but just over the last year, because I believe in something called the RAS, the reticular activating system.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that whatever you look for, you're going to find. So I believe in manifestations. So even like when I'm cleaning my house, every morning I get up, I clean the kitchen and I wipe the kitchen down. I said, Lord, thank you for this beautiful house I have, but thank you for the summer home that's coming.
Yes.
I can see the summer home. I got a picture of it. Let me see if I even have it. I got a picture of it on my phone. That's the house I'm going to have. That's the boat I'm going to own. So, but if I don't see it every day, if I don't get myself emotionally charged, it's not going to come. But if you see something, like I had a friend of mine, he's like, I want to buy a Lamborghini. I want to buy a Lambo. I want to buy a Lambo. I was like, okay, let's go. So we actually went and got him to sit in the Lambo, smell the leather, touch the seats, take it for a test drive. 6 months later, he had that Lambo.
Wow.
Because he manifested it, because he actually got emotionally involved in it. Mm-hmm. He actually touched it. He smelt the leather. And if you're not manifesting your dreams, then you're manifesting somebody else's dreams. Mm-hmm. So if you, like, for me, I see that picture every day. I pray to God every night, but I could picture myself, me and my cousin sitting on the front porch of that house, getting ready to go on the boat. I can smell the seawater. So I believe that because I'm emotionally involved, it's going to happen. And if I'm doing it with God's blessings, because it's all his anyway, that it's going to happen. But a lot of people think that manifestation is BS, but a lot of people don't realize that even in the late 1800s, early 1900s, when Dale Carnegie actually taught, Think and Grow Rich, that he said your obsessions become your possessions.
Yes.
So whatever you think about, you're going to find. So if you're thinking about prosperity, happiness, health, you're going to find it. If you're going to think about negativity, poorness, sickness, you're going to find it.
Exactly.
So that's my story on manifestation.
I agree with you. And that's the law of attraction. What is in your mind, what is in your thoughts, it becomes reality. Because when all the thoughts that you have are are into your system, and then it turns into feelings, and these feelings turns into actions. So if you focus on negative, oh, I cannot do that, I don't have the capability, I don't have the background, I don't have the educational attainment, then that will happen. But if you focus on the positive things, that, oh, I can do that, I have my vision board, and this is where I want to be 3 years or 5 years from now, you already place your picture there by the beach, and that's my dream as well. I have a place, a property right in front of the beach. It's still in my vision board, but you know what? I always look at the Zillow, and then Zillow would always send me pictures of properties in Florida in front of the beach. But I would keep on telling myself, yes, I will be there soon.
No, but even
And God will provide whatever I
you
need.
know, even in the Bible, even before Jesus healed anybody, they had to do something.
Of course, you need to take
So
action.
it's not just me dreaming about me sitting, you know, dreaming about this beach house, and then I'm eating potato chips and I'm not putting in the work.
Of
So you
course.
have to think about it, and then you got to put in the work. You know, even like Jesus would say to the blind man, okay, you know, go there and do this. So he never just healed anybody. There was always something that they had to do first.
Of course. And that would, when you create a dream, that will push you, that will motivate you to really work hard to reach your dream. And even in my in school, no, at Saint Scholastica's College in Manila, back home, our motto is ora et labora, meaning to say it's a Latin word for prayer and work. So it's not all prayers, but you have to take action for that to happen, to make it a reality.
Yeah.
God helps those who help themselves. So I believe in that. So thank you for sharing. And then what is your next goal for the next 12 months?
See, I'm a different kind of guy. I live moment by moment. What I mean is, I have my goals to have the beach house and that, but I want to be present in every moment. Meaning, I wake up in the morning, and if I can see something when I wake up my eye and I see something, I say, Lord, thank you for giving me just today, because tomorrow doesn't exist. Yesterday's gone; it doesn't exist. So all I have is, it's called the present for a reason. So for me, I'm in the moment, and I try to be in the moment as much as I can be, because that's all we really have. And there's a reason why it's called the present.
Yes, it's a gift.
It's a present that we're meant to open and enjoy every day. So when somebody asks me, where are you going to be in 12 months? I don't know where God's taking me. I just want to be able to wake up tomorrow morning.
And be grateful.
And if he lets me wake up, then it's going to be an amazing day. And if I don't wake up, it's going to be even better. So for me, I don't know where I'm going to be in 12 months. I just hope I wake up tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's great. And another thing is, well, of course, whenever I wake up and whenever I open my eyes, I always tell Lord, thank you for another day, another opportunity to serve you and serve other people. So guide me the path towards your plan, towards your mission for me, so that I may be able to fulfill your plan for me.
But I also do have a planner that I write out every day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's by my friend. His name is John Lee Dumas. He's one of the top podcasters in the world. It's a 90-day planner. And every day I write out what I'm grateful for: God, family, health, and business. And then I write in the next 90 days, I want 2 million downloads. But I'm writing it. It's instead of typing it in my phone. And it makes it real when you write something down more than if you're just typing it in your phone. Because they found out that there was a study done, 93% of people that wrote their goals down
Uh-huh.
before their freshman to the senior year, 30 years later, 93% of them hit their goals as long as they were writing them down. So
Wow.
I write my goals down every day. This way I'm seeing them, I'm feeling them. And when pen touches paper, it's a lot different than if you're just typing it in your phone.
Yes. And then I usually have these post-it notes. So when I write it, I put it in the mirror whenever the refrigerator, when I open the refrigerator, oh, that's my dream. I have to, it reminds you of your goal, of your dream. So I agree with you. I agree with you. So before we end, what is your advice, simple advice to our listeners? Actually, you have given so many advices.
Well, when you're on my show, and which you'll be coming up in January sometime, I always end with that I'm a big Joel Osteen guy. I don't care who likes him. I don't care who doesn't like him. I like him. But something that he read that resonates with me is, and it's the reason why I wear this T-shirt every day on my podcast. Today I decide.
Yeah,
Everybody gets a chance to decide to be the victim or to be the victor.
exactly.
I choose to be the victor. So, guys, if you're listening to this show, you are choosing to be a victor and no longer being the victim. So
Yes.
I just wanted to put that out there. The three most important words in English language are today, I decide to be a victim or a victor.
Oh, I love that. Just like what, because of my journey, I've, would you like to stick with being a warrior or being a warrior? Yes.
Yeah, I get it.
It gave us so much strength going through our journey, and now we are doing what we're doing because we love what we're doing, and that's God's plan for us as well. So, Richard, how could they connect with you?
Well, they can, something that Gary Vaynerchuk talked about. He said, you got to put in a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of years. But if you just Google Vertical Momentum Podcast, we are on the first 6 pages of Google. So we're on 22 different social media platforms. So all you got to do is Google Vertical Momentum Podcast. You'll be able to get
Could you connect? Could you repeat that again? Google
vertical
vertical.
Momentum Podcast. We're on
Okay.
22. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Tumblr, Flickr, YouTube, TikTok. We're everywhere. And if you send me a message, it's me. I don't have any virtual assistants. So if you want to get in touch with me, I'm available all the time. And I'm going to do something for your listeners. If you guys listen to the end of this, if you send me your email, I will send you my book for free.
Wow, that's great.
So we'll send it right to your email for free, no cost, no charge, just a gift for me being on this show and you letting me be on this show.
Oh, thank you so much. And Richard, if you'd be willing, I also invited Mark in my inner circle. if probably next year, if you'll be open to be my guest as well.
It would be my honor.
Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. It's really an honor to have you. So thank you again, Richard, for being here with us. And till next episode, to all my listeners, thank you so much. Have a blessed day.